Hi, I'm Francesca James, the founder of the Great British Entrepreneur Awards and Community. The coronavirus pandemic has caused chaos for many UK businesses, yet the crisis does seem to have brought out the raw entrepreneur in some business owners and leaders. In this series, we're shining a spotlight on and speaking to the entrepreneurs behind businesses who have adopted a plan B or changed their business by pivoting to models to either still serve their customers or help the country in an entirely different way. Hi Simon, could you you're an events entrepreneur. Could you tell me about what your businesses look like pre-pandemic?
Sure, Fran. My business is, I'm a portfolio event entrepreneur, I think would be more accurate. So I have a number of awards campaigns, some of which are very traditional and might look quite like Great British Entrepreneur Awards, and others which are very digital and have lots of content in them. So I think pre-pandemic, we looked like a pretty understandable event business that focused on awards campaigns in sport and charity and exhibitions. And I think what changed was we knew that those events and those campaigns represented communities and communities with interests. And what you needed to do was to work out how to give that community what it wanted, what information it wanted, what transactions it wanted in a different guise, in a different format.
So what does that different format look like? How have you pivoted, taken a plan B with various projects, awards and events that you're involved in?
Sure, I think the most obvious example is Charity Film Awards, which on the one hand is a very digital campaign. It's charity films, they're predominantly on YouTube, the public vote. We have a huge uplift in social media, 100,000 members of the public voted this year. We're showcasing 400 charity films. So far, no impact. But our moment of celebration always was the glamorous, glittering lights of the West End, everyone coming together and networking and celebrating those films. So essentially we turned it into a TV show and we did it as a virtual event. We were pretty early in the lockdown, so we didn't have many other examples to judge against. And we made the very conscious decision that what we needed to do was to preserve the emotion of the event, not the format of the event. So what are the emotions around an awards? They are expectation, they are excitement, and the shortlist is bang, 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 and the winner is. And so we tried to work of ways that they would translate to a screen, because essentially at this point we were making a TV show, but we were making a TV show in my living room with a holiday camera piled on some books to get it to the right height and none of the normal equipment or expertise. So how do you preserve that emotion? And also how do you do it without pretending that you are a TV show? Because of course we're not, we lack that expertise and budget and set. So how do you preserve the emotional integrity? And then we layered that. We made sure that social media was where the conversation happened. So the conversation that you might normally have at the awards table, people were having on Instagram or Twitter. And we gave people step and repeat walls so the backdrop looked like they were at the event. And we encouraged them to share those step and repeat walls. And therefore we recreated what people's emotional experience of an awards is without the physical event. Oh, also, we phoned people up when they'd won to do a Zoom interview with them, which is exactly what we do with a camera in the live event, but we just tried to translate. And I think when you're translating from one language into another, what you have to translate is meaning and spirit, not literal words.
I love that. I love the idea of seeing it as a TV show rather than an event, because you're right, you can't replicate that in real life experience digitally, or at least nobody's been able to yet. I'd love it. I'd love to see someone do it. What do you think? Do you think there are many sort of changes and I guess elements of your plan B that you'll take into life when we enter the new normal?
Yeah, one thing it did for us was we'd always had this idea that when a charity was shortlisted, the people involved with the film attended the event. We wanted the rest of the team back at the office and the rest of their community, their supporters and their funders, to be able to engage with the event as well. And what the virtual version showed us was that was very possible. So almost every charity involved screened its film to its community immediately prior to the broadcast, and everybody watched it collectively. And we've had all sorts of stories about some schools watching and stopping and sharing and dialoguing with one another about the films, and families doing that, and teams from the charities being on a Zoom call, watching the experience collectively. I think we'll keep that. I think we'll keep the sense that there might be a small community in the room where we can shake hands and show the films and celebrate with a community gathered together. But also we'd still want to broadcast it live to the wider world. We had 10,000 people watching. We've had 2,000 or 3,000 views since of the content. It became a bigger experience because we were able to share it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I guess, I mean, I think I can guess what your answer is going to be, but are you optimistic about the future as a portfolio events entrepreneur?
I'm going to give you two answers to that. One is that I am by nature optimistic. I'll see an opportunity. I think I've created 3 new ideas while we've been under lockdown, and I'm a busy idiot in that sense. But I'm not sure I'm optimistic a priori about what this looks like, and that is because I just don't think we know enough to make those big judgments. And I think it's very easy for a business or the government or society at large to make a misstep here of any sort. And so I fear that the collective spirit, the spirit of togetherness and sharing and compassion that we, I believe, have fostered during this, I don't want that to get trampled on in the rush to normality. I think we would be better to be a bit more measured about the journey to normality to make sure we preserve those things. So I think business will always right itself. People will always find new opportunities. Your community of entrepreneurs will always find its way through to some added value. But I want to preserve the sense of sustainability, compassion, responsibility, and social enterprise. And I'm a bit worried that that's an easy thing for us all to talk about now and a difficult thing for us to preserve.
Brilliant. Thank you, Simon. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.